Okay, today we're going to do a 200-hour service, which is the same things we normally do at a 100-hour service, except on a 200-hour service you want to make sure you change your water pump every 200 hours or 2 years, whatever comes first. So we look for, make sure the cup and all looks good as it come off, don't have no abnormal wear. We will not reuse these. These are not reusable parts. You can see the wear on your impeller. The impeller should come out straight, looking just like this one right here. This is what your normal impeller looks like when it's brand new. So even over time, if you don't have 200 hours on it, in 2 years it can still get warped like that and you won't have your best performance out of your water pump. So also in a water pump, we pull the plate and go underneath to the seal. There's a seal right here. And a lot of times over the year, a couple years, these little they're rubber, there's a rubber flap, and they can come unseated from it, and it'll flop up in top of it and cover up the little holes in your bottom plate, which can cause the motor to run hot. That little, where it sets up underneath there, if that flap, you want to make sure when you do your water pump, you inspect that little seal and make sure that it's not flapping. If it is, definitely replace it. So also, we'll check here, you want to make sure this all feels good. You can take your screwdriver and lightly rub it across and just make sure you don't have no broke spring in there. You should be able to feel that spring real good in there. If you can't feel the spring, those upper seals will need to be replaced. You want to always replace the used housing with a new housing. As we had a customer come in last week, and as you can see, that's all brand new. That's a brand new housing in there, or it was. He stuck it into the old housing, not realizing that there was enough wear there just to cover and let this cup slide, and it wasn't getting enough water. So what happened there is it wouldn't cool the impeller and wouldn't pump properly, so he melted down a brand new kit, which is very costly in this situation. Okay, now that we know the seal's all right, we're going to reassemble it. The seal's all good, got it cleaned out. We'll put our dowel pins back in very lightly, tap them down in there very lightly. Put the new seal underneath. Right there. Okay, we want to put a little bit of grease on this tab right here, so when we go to put the keyway back in, it slides in there nice. I'll lightly tap it up in there. Pull her over the shaft. Make sure it seats down in there real nice and smoothly. On the keyway, turn it, make sure it settles in. Put our first washer goes on. We're doing a VF 150 wave washer, and then the other washer. It's always important too when you take these off not to damage this retaining sleeve. That is a seal for the upper part of your housing. 7/8 match. Take that, lightly tap that down. Put our seals in here. Little light bit of grease. Our new cup. Make sure we get them right settled right down into the right spot. Lightly put this. Don't want to put too much grease. Very little. More can be bad. Just for it won't want to seal up when you first crank it. It might not pump the water. Set that down on there. Turn it as you let it go down. That way you make sure your O-rings don't come out. Everything looks good and sealed tight there. And we'll grease our bolts. Run our bolts down in. We'll run those down to put the proper torque. When you take the old housing off, you can pop this seal out. This one is reusable as long as it's not been damaged or melted in any way. Make sure it's clean of all debris. Pull this seal out. Slide that right down in there like that. And that's your guide for your pickup tube. And there you go. Tighten those down to the proper torque and you've changed your water pump.